Namaste students, welcome to business studies class. We were discussing about controlling, and in the last session we discussed what are the different procedures or what are the steps are there in order to control particular organization, and there we have seen variety of steps and how to set the particular standards. Initially we set the standard, and based on that standard, after setting standards for different departments, as you know, we have different departments in the organization, that is production department, marketing department, HR department, and also sales department or research and development department. So each department they set their own targets. After setting targets, the next step, employees will perform their work or they will execute their work. Then in that stage, the controlling department has to monitor the employees whether they are under control or not, whether whatever target or plan we set, whether it is going according to that or not. Then after performing the task, we need to compare it with the actual performance, we need to compare with the target what we set. And if there is any deviations, means if in case the deviations may be of three kinds, it may be negative deviations or it may be positive deviation or it may be sometimes there may not be any kind of deviation. So if it is negative deviation, then we need to once again we need to check that what kind of necessary actions to be taken in order to correct that deviation. So there we have seen what kind of corrections we can make in the different departments or in the target what we have set there. Now we have seen what are the procedures or what are the different steps for controlling. Now there are some techniques of controlling. How to control? How to control? We have some of the techniques of controlling. So these techniques of controlling are mainly divided into two categories, that is traditional technique and modern technique. And this modern technique, it has been introduced recently, and earlier we were studying only this traditional technique. These techniques we were used in order to control a particular organization. And here in that traditional technique we have four kinds of techniques. The first one comes personal observation, then we have statistical report, then we have break-even analysis and budgetary control. And here if we see modern techniques, here we have some other techniques like return on investment, ratio analysis, liquidity ratio. In that ratio analysis we have further different kinds of ratios. Then the responsibility accounting and management audit, then PERT and CPM, we'll see what is that, and last one management information system. So management information system. So these are the different types, 1, 2, here 3, then 4, 5 and 6. 6 modern techniques are there and we have 4 traditional techniques. Now in today's session we discuss what are these techniques. So if we see traditional techniques, then first one comes personal observation. What is that personal observation? Personal observation is nothing but we may keep supervision in a particular organization or a plant. We may keep in the production department, one supervisor will be there. What he has to do? He has to monitor the workers. It is the method of personally we observing the workers, how they are working. What happens here? If our employees or workers, if they get to know someone is watching us or someone is observing our work, what we are doing. Now here same thing happens. Here we have principal and vice principal and all other lecturers are there. We know that someone will be monitoring us. If we go wrong somewhere, they will guide us how we need to go. And in your case also, we will be the people, those one who monitor you people. So always, if we have that kind of what procedures in the particular organization, and in personal observation, what happens in the sense, it will be some kind of pressure on the employees or workers. They will be having in their mind that someone will be watching or someone is observing our work. So they will be more conscious about their work and definitely they will try to provide their best. Otherwise, they will get caught or they may get any other kind of actions for not working properly in the organization. So it is a very traditional method, personally observing the workers, how they are working, whether they are moving according to the target or plan or what we have directed, according to that, whether they are moving or not. Then next one comes statistical report. We all know that in a particular, if we say it's a company, or if we say it's an organization or any kind of organization, it may be an institution, or it may be hospital, or it may be any other organization, they prepare various kinds of reports. That reports we may present in the form of, it might be the in the form of document, or we may prepare various kinds of charts, or we may prepare various kinds of diagrams, or we may give some of the accounting report or any other. So we prepare the variety of reports. Why? In order to compare the performance last year report and the present year report. Whether we improved in case of performance, or whether we are going down when in compared to the last year. For the comparison purpose, they prepare various kinds of reports. It may be statistical report, which is easy to, statistical reports are mostly for the purpose of comparison we prepare. So we prepare report so that we can compare it with the last year in order to check whether we improved or whether we reached the target compared to the last year, or is there any kind of negative deviations. So this is one more method. Who prepares the statistical report? That managers prepares the statistical report, and when he prepares statistical report, it is what he has to show it to his higher authority. Then they will judge him whether this manager, whether he controlled his organization properly or not. So here even he will be conscious that he has to prepare report at the end, and he has to show it to his higher authority. So he has to exercise a better control inside the organization in order to prepare, or in order to get best report at the end of the year. Next one, we have break-even analysis. Why break-even analysis is prepared? Break-even analysis is prepared by the manager in order to get to know about the cost, profit or volume. Get to know about the cost. Cost means what cost incurred in this organization or in this factory in order to produce something. And after incurring some of the cost, what are those volume? What is the quantity we produced? And what is the profit? What profit we received? So in order to analyze that, they prepare break-even analysis. So break-even analysis, it is a report prepared by the manager in order to know about the cost, volume and profit of that particular organization. And break-even position is that position we call when a particular organization or particular company, when it reaches to one position where there will be no profit, no loss. So where there will be no profit, no loss, so such situation we call it as break-even point or break-even situation. Break-even point is at that point where we don't have any kind of loss also and we don't have any kind of profit also. It is exactly the equal point. There is no loss and no profit. That point we call it as break-even point. So this break-even analysis will be done by the manager in order to study about their cost, volume and also profit. That is the third method in the traditional technique. Then next one, very important one, budgetary control. See, in this, out of this four technique, this budgetary control is very important because it may appear for 4 marks. So what is budget? What is budget? Budgetary or what is budgetary control? How we can control the budget? Now budget is we prepare well in advance. We prepare well in advance that within this we need to complete our task. We put certain line well in advance. It might be our plans or it might be our targets. Budgets may be target or budgets may be plan which we prepare well in advance before execution of any work. Then after preparing budget, we need to go according to that budget. We need to carry our work or we need to execute our work according to that budget what we set. We should not cross our budget. There are variety of budgets will be there in case of organization. You may get their production budget, or you may get their sales budget, or you may get material budget, or you may get their cost budget, or you may get marketing budget. So variety of budgets will be there. Production budget is now, for example, if you take production budget, these are the types of budget. Production budget means we set well in advance. So this should be our production by the end of this year. This unit should be our production. Our budget we set means, for example, the 15,000 units. It is a budget or it's a target for this month. This is a production budget. Or in case of material, what kind of material, what quantity, what quality of material we need to get. That is a material budget. Then sales budget. What sales we need to reach by the end of this month. So that is, there will be the different kinds of budget. Then there will be the cost budget also, what within which we need to control our cost. So there will be different kinds of budgets will be there. We set our budget well in advance, or it may be target or it may be plan. We set well in advance. Now how to control? We set already budgets we set for particular organization, and different kinds of budget we set. Now what budget we set, how to control that budget, and what will be the use if we control that budget. So it is a quantitative statement. What is budgetary control? It is a quantitative statement for a definite future period of time for the purpose of attaining given objective. That means the budget is a quantitative statement for a definite future period of time for the purpose of attaining given objective. Means there will be the objective of the organization. The organization objective may be we need to reach so and so profit having this particular quality with the product. We need to reach so and so profit having this quality with our product. That is the overall organization budget, overall organization objective or target. In order to reach that objective or target, we set budget. That is a quantitative statement. As I said, budget is a quantitative statement. The production budget we need to reach by the end of this month. We provide that time period. So it's a quantitative statement for a definite future period. We will be knowing by the end of this month we need to reach the 15,000 units of production. By the end of this month, so we set the definite future period. End of this month we need to reach the quantitative statement. It's a quantitative statement. 15,000 units we need to reach by the end of this month. Of time for the purpose of attaining given objective of the organization. In order to reach the organization objective of attaining some so and so profit, we set the different kinds of budget. That is a budget is a quantitative statement. It will be in the quantitative statement for a definite time period in order to reach the organization objective. That we call it as a budget. And budgetary control means we need to control that budget, means we need to make our employees to work according to that. They should not cross that budget. So what will be the use if we control the budget? There may be to reach the organizational objective. If we work within that budget, or if we do not cross that limit, what budget we set, it will helpful to reach the organizational objective. What goals or target our organization set there, it will help to reach that goals or target. Then second one, it's a source of motivation. What happens? For example, production department, they set the budget. By the end of this month, we need to reach 15,000 units. Then it is one kind of, or it's a source of motivation to the employees. Yes, we need to reach by the end of this month. If we reach this, then our higher authority, they will feel happy, or we may get some kind of incentives, or we may get some kind of appreciation. So they will get motivation. If we set the budget, they will get motivated and they will work more efficiently. Then optimum utilization of resources. Yes, it is possible because we know our limit. We should not cross this. So whatever resources available there, we utilize in a proper way. Effective and efficient utilization or optimum utilization of resources is possible because our budget is limited to this extent. Within that we need to complete our task, so we should not cross. So we definitely utilize it. We go for optimum utilization. Then achieving coordination. Achieving coordination means, now as I said, there will be different departments like production department and the same way marketing department. We have, for example, we take production and marketing department. Now, in order to set the production target that we need to produce 15,000 units of this quality product. So, in order to set the production target, they have to communicate with marketing department. Because marketing department will be knowing what kind of product we require in order to distribute to the market. For what kind of product we have demand at present, for what kind of or for what quality of product there is a demand in the market. That information will be with the marketing department. So in order to set their production department budget, they have to communicate with the marketing department, as well as there should be a communication between marketing and there should be the communication with HR department and also with the finance department. So there should be not to set the target of one particular department, they require variety of information from other departments. So it is closely connected to one by with all other departments. So there will be, it is possible if they go for budget, if they go to set a budget for different departments, then we can achieve their better coordination because they have to communicate with other departments. So that is possible in case of budgetary control. So what is budget and advantages of budgetary control? Then there will be some of the types of budget that they may not ask, but it is better to know. Types means production budget, sales budget, then material budget, cost budget. We can use some of the names. So this is about traditional technique. We have 4 traditional technique, that is personal observation. Personally, they will monitor the employees. Statistical report. The manager will prepare various kinds of statistical report at the end of the year so that he can compare it with the previous year. And break-even analysis is done in order to know the relationship between cost, profit and volume. And budgetary control. Budgetary control means we set the budget and within that we need to work there so that we can reach the goals or targets of the goals or targets of the whole organization. Then nextly, now we will move towards the modern techniques. There are some modern techniques. We'll see. In that first one comes return on investment. The return on investment. What is that return on investment? Now we know that when we get profit in the organization, we will not keep that profit in a particular place, or we will not keep it in a place where, for example, if we get 10,000, it's a common thing, 10,000, we will not keep that 10,000 in a particular place where it will not give any return for a long period of time. If we get something or profit, we invest in some other sources. So here return on investment means that we study that we will invest in different sources, and in which source if we invest we can get the best return. In which source we invest, there we get the best return. So here manager will analyze which is the best source to invest, where I can get the best return for my investment. So here under modern techniques, return on investment means he will have some control on his investment. He will have some control on his investment means he will invest only in such places where he can get best return within a short period of time. Then next we analyze their ratio analysis. What is that ratio analysis? In case of ratio analysis, there are different kinds of analysis are there, mainly 4 kinds of analysis. So there liquidity ratio, solvency ratio, profitability ratio and turnover ratio. What is that liquidity ratio? Liquidity, what is the liquid assets? What are the liquid assets? Liquid assets are those assets which we can easily convert into cash. Such kind of assets we call it as liquid assets. It might be your stocks or your shares or any document if you have. Those things if we keep in a bank means we will get some money. Gold is a liquid asset. If we keep it in a bank or if we pledge in a bank, we will get some amount. So such kind of assets we call it as liquid asset. So we need to check in our organization what is our liquidity ratio. What is the ratio of our liquid asset which can be easily convertible into cash in order to meet our expenses, in order to meet our debt. Whether we are in the strong liquid ratio, whether we are having strong liquid ratio in order to meet our debt. That we check in case of liquidity ratio. What is our liquid position? What is our liquidity position in the organization? Solvency ratio. Solvency ratio is nothing but whether we are able to meet our debt. Whatever debt we have related to this particular organization, whether we are able to meet, whether we are in a position to able to meet the debt, that we call it as solvency. Whether we are solvent to meet the debt or our liabilities, whether our asset is enough to reach or meet our liabilities, that we study in case of solvency ratio. Then profitability ratio. What is our profitable position? In which position we are in case of profit? So what is our profitability position? Then turnover ratio is what is our overall turnover in this particular year. Our company turnover or our organization turnover in the particular time period. What is our turnover? That we study in case of turnover ratio. So these four are different kinds of ratio in order to study different kinds of positions of that particular organization. Now for example, we are not having proper solvency, means we are in a critical position. If we have debt, means we should have sufficient asset to meet that debt, otherwise we will be in a trouble. So we need to check, we need to check every now and then what is our solvency ratio, what is our liquidity ratio, profitability ratio, or turnover ratio. Then only we can control the organization or control each department properly, or each aspects properly. Then next one, responsibility accounting. What is this responsibility accounting? Responsibility accounting, it is mainly related to accounting. It relates to the cost management. It is mainly related to the cost management. So they set different centers. They set the different centers in order to control different aspects. Now we have here four kinds of centers under responsibility accounting. There it controls, it related to the cost management of the company, and they set the different centers, and different centers will be having different responsibility to handle. So we have here four centers, that is cost center, profit center, revenue center, and investment center. Now cost center. Cost center is responsible, it is responsible for whatever cost incurred in that particular organization. Mainly, for example, we can take here production department. Why we take production department? Because most of the cost incurred in that particular place where we produce different kinds of product. So cost center is responsible for the whatever cost associated with that particular company. For that, cost center is responsible. We can take example of production department for cost center, because most of the cost incurred in that particular department. Then next comes revenue center. It is responsible for generating revenue, not for the cost. It is responsible for generating revenue for the organization. For example, we can take here marketing department, because this is the department which is responsible for generating revenue, because sales, advertisement, or the market analysis, it will be done in case of market department. So revenue center, it is responsible for generating revenue, and example we can take it as marketing department. Then comes the profit center. It is responsible for profit, generating profit as well as revenue. Profit center, it is not only responsible for profit, it is responsible for profit as well as cost. And here we can take repairs and maintenance department. Here we can take, for example, repair and maintenance department. We can take it for profit center, where this center is responsible for profit as well as for cost. Then investment center. Investment center is responsible. It is responsible to look into various aspects of investment. If we are generating revenue, means if we have sufficient profit, and where we need to invest. Where if we invest, we can get the best return. So for that, investment center is responsible. So under responsibility accounting, we have four kinds of center. Four kinds of centers are set in order to take the different responsibility. And cost center is responsible for cost, whatever cost incurred, and revenue, it is responsible for generating revenue. Profit center, it is for cost as well as profit, means cost as well as revenue. Profit means it includes cost as well as revenue. So profit center is responsible for cost and revenue. Investment center, it is responsible for investment activities. Then next one, management audit. Audit, you know that we will check the accounts whether it is in a proper way or not, so that we can control our accounting department. So there will be a management audit will be done by the chartered accountants. They will come to your office and they will check your accounting details. So management audit will be done in order to control the accounting aspects of that particular organization. Then we have here PERT and CPM. PERT and CPM. And this question mainly will appear for 1 mark. What is that? Abbreviation of PERT and CPM. And here PERT is Program Evaluation and Review Technique. PERT is Program Evaluation and Review Technique. And CPM is Critical Path Method. CPM is Critical Path Method. And PERT is Program Evaluation and Review Technique. What are these two techniques? These are the network techniques. These are the network technique which is responsible for some kinds of project. Some project in the sense where the planning and scheduling and controlling is necessary. So it is these two are the network technique, and these are responsible for planning, scheduling and controlling. It is for some project, we call it as one-time project. For example, it is mainly used in case of aircraft manufacturing or construction, construction and shipbuilding. So these are the project for a particular period of time, and these are a huge project. This will be the huge project for a particular period of time. In that particular areas, they use the technique called PERT and CPM, which is responsible for planning, scheduling and controlling. Planning means what we need to do, and scheduling within what time we need to complete and how to control this particular project. This will be the project for a particular period of time. So in that such kind of field, they will use the technique called PERT and CPM. PERT is Program Evaluation and Review Technique. Program Evaluation Review Technique. And CPM is Critical Path Method. So this is important for 1 mark, PERT and CPM. And these are the network techniques which used in case of, for example, aircraft manufacturing and shipbuilding and also construction process. They use this kind of techniques. And last one, management information system. Management information system, it is a computer based information system. It's a computer based information system where it gathers lots of information and provide information to the organization in order to take proper decisions in the organization. So this will be useful in case of decision making process where they require variety of information from different sources. So this system, it collects the information from the variety of sources and it provided to the person who is responsible for decision making and who involved in the decision making process. So it helps to take proper decisions in the organization. So this is about the techniques which we use in case of controlling. So with this we completed the 8th chapter, that is controlling, and we started this chapter with what is controlling and what are the importance of controlling there, and we have also seen what are the demerits or the limitations. Limitations also important for 4 marks. Limitations of controlling. Then we have seen the process of controlling in the last class, and today we discussed about the different techniques of controlling. We have 2 techniques, traditional techniques and modern techniques. And here, as I said, here you may get 4 mark question as a budgetary control. It may come for 4 mark question, and other you may get for 2 marks or 1 marks. This PERT and CPM, it is important for 1 marks. Then those abbreviations may come for 2 or 1 mark. So we can wind up with today's session. Now we ended with the first part of business studies with the last chapter, that is controlling. Now in the next session we are discussing about the second part where we have some chapters in the second part. Thank you.